I'm still looking for the char, and ideally, you catch it at Lake Ladoga at the archipelago. That's where I last tried. Now I'm heading back to the normal part of Lake Ladoga, because even here for years, you could always catch char pretty well. But even though you could always catch char quite well here, with the addition of the Ladoga archipelago, that suddenly dropped off. Not as good anymore. How should I put it? Or just less popular. And of course, fewer spots were being shared, because hardly anyone is fishing for char at Lake Ladoga anymore, when you're catching way more char over at the archipelago, and not here at the lake. Still, every now and then there are really nice catches of char here at Lake Ladoga. And for me right now, things are looking pretty good. And I gotta say I'm already quite happy here. Nicely on Wacky rig, and I just switched over to the Wacky worm again. So things are looking good at the moment. The sizes are fine. I even just pulled out a fat catfish here, nearly 9 kilos. And yeah, now it's slowly heading into the evening hours. And before those evening hours really kick in, and probably the Xander as well, I wanted to test and try around here a bit more. See what else is possible. So I'm standing here between the lighthouse and the island, and that's one of those spots where you can cast really well from the island. So to this spot here, for example, if you're out with bait fish, you could definitely go over to the island and cast from there. Let's just take a look real quick. From the island, just cast into this 11-meter trench. You can also cast over here. Maybe I'll just head over there in a bit. Otherwise, I'm usually positioned right on the 11. What do we have here? Something small. So yeah, I'm heading back there now. Just head a bit forward, right onto the 11, cut the motor, and then simply let everything down. Maybe I'll switch the bait back again. Right now, I've been using the ones that are also working great at the Ladoga archipelago for char. That's the Nesty Worm 4.504 and the Nesty Worm 0.5005. Those two versions I've tested so far, and they've already worked quite nicely, though at first the initial bites were coming on the 5005. Now let's take a look here. The biggest Ladoga char. Yeah, also hit the Nesty Worm 4.505. Exactly, Ladoga char. And here again, it's the 5005. So initially I had the 5005 here, again the 5005, and up here I switched over to the 5004. But I think the 5005 is working better here in this water or in this area at the moment. Would be even better, of course, if the clotling started biting too. That would be really good. I'm switching back to the 5005. Here it is, by the way. Wear level? Doesn't matter. All artificial lures can be used up to 100% wear, no matter how worn they are. The bite rate or the attractiveness doesn't go down. That has no impact at all. So yeah, you can definitely use worn out lures too. And like I said, that goes for all artificial lures. From the Wacky rigworm to the North Sea soft bait, it makes no difference. All right, let's check real quick. Right on this 11-meter hole and in this area. The wind's currently coming straight out of the east or southeast, just shifted a little bit. So we're drifting slightly with the wind. It's more pleasant, of course, when there's a bit less wind. But overall, it's still pretty relaxed here. I just make sure you don't have too much wind. We're about to hit a really interesting phase. Same weather conditions throughout. If you figure something out, then you can test it beautifully for a long time. And that's what makes it really fun. So if you catch one of those phases, it's worth it, especially if you're spending several hours targeting one specific fish and want to test something. Then it's really, really fun because you can test thoroughly. All right, Wacky rig like always. Let it drop down, make sure it's resting properly on the bottom, close the bail, give it a little tension, and then it's like jigging in the North Sea. Just above the bottom, little hops, a slight pull up, or even a slow reel in. That helps too, because we're not jigging here, so it's not like you can go without reeling completely. So always mix it up, a little pull, a little lift, reel in a bit, then let it sink again, and start all over. That's how I've been doing it the whole time. And now, of course, the question is, what color should you use here? Time to test baits. But yeah, overall, I'm already pretty happy so far. And there's another small one. Look at that. So what, the whole thing? Oh, now the burbots are coming in. Yep, it's late. So yeah, it's always a matter of patience. you really have to search. And yeah, at the Ladoga archipelago there are spots that might even run a bit better. Most recently, the 14-meter hole worked well. Right now, I think it's the 26-meter hole. But overall, like I said, you can absolutely fish here. And it's worth using this trench, the 11-meter trench, all the way to the front or into the 18-meter zone. So just use these deeper holes and test around there. Up here in the 14-meter zone, I haven't been there in forever. Might be worth checking out again. Could well be that the fish are still there. Why not? Years ago, when the water body was new, I stood up here on the tip and cast out with nightcrawler, for example, and even got char that way. So it's absolutely possible to go for it with the wacky worm too. Just a quick heads up, just go to Lake Ladoga and try the wacky worm here too. If it works at the archipelago, it should work at the lake too. So off to Lake Ladoga and see if you can catch something. All right? Another small one's biting? Look at that. So head out to the lake and try to pull something in. Okay, now it's only small burbots coming in. I'm going to take a short break now. I don't need the whole night out here. Probably more catfish will come in overnight. And then I'll test the area up there again, because that's where the clotlings were showing up. And with the clotling char, I'm definitely going to try some different colors again and some different wacky worms. All right, put everything together, cast it out, test, test, test. Just like always, leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and then I'll see you next time in the next video or in the next live stream. Tight line.